remember James Marsters was in an episode, and they put like 7-inch heels on the guy to walk down the hallway with me. You know, so that little Buffy dude, I could kick his ass. But anyway, so I took the box and set it down, and I took the bottom half of my armor off, and I just pulled down like the pants down around my ankles. And I had a newspaper in front of me, so when they finally said action, open the doors. I go, can a guy get any privacy around here? You know, so. But there, yeah, I mean, I think there's like too many things to even mention to think about. But there was a lot of things they should have recorded and put on. We have blooper reels, but gosh, there's so many bloopers they didn't put down, which I think are better than the blooper reel itself, and it's too bad. But I would say, hey, put that blooper reel in, but they didn't do it, so I don't know. Yes?
Is there a particular season or part of the season of Hercules that stands out in your mind looking back?
Well, I mean, obviously the first year just itself was just amazing to be down there. The New Zealand people down there are wonderful, it's nice, it's just clean. I remember landing at the airport in Auckland, because LAX just sucks. It's a horrible airport. It's just loud and obnoxious and just rude. And then you land there, and I was like, there's a double rainbow. I went, oh, okay. You know, it was amazing. But you know, I would say in season 3, when I directed my first episode, that was a big step for me. Called The Apple. So if you get a chance on Netflix, check out The Apple. That was the first time I directed. The first time Michael Hurst directed was called, I think it was Mercenary, which was a heavy, dramatic episode, which I really liked that episode too. Michael's going to be quite a very good director. He directed quite a bit in Spartacus as well, which is the same team from Hercules. I mean, all my stunt guys were doing that one as well, so they pretty much just put the same team together. And I'm talking with Rob and Sam Raimi right now about another series. So I'm not waiting to see if Can't Get Arrested gets picked up. We're on to our next one right now, and we've been having heavy talks for the last 2.5, 3 months. We just hired a new showrunner writer to write the pilot, and we'll see what happens. So, knock on wood. Yes?
How did you first come across the role of Hercules?
You know, it's typical for any audition in LA or anywhere else. You have an agent that's, you know, they have a breakdown service saying we're looking for these type of people, and you have somebody that fits it, and they submit you, and hopefully you get in. I mean, it's so tough. It is. I mean, you got to get struck by lightning. You really do. So it was over a almost 2.5 month period. They brought me in over 7 times to read for that part. They looked at 2,800 people for the role, from Montreal to New York to Chicago to LA, Dallas to whatever. And when they first told me about it, I was like, you know, because I've always been in shape. I always work out. I'm about 215 now. I was 220 when I got the part, and I beefed up to between 230, 235. And that was my college weight to play football. And but I thought, you know, they're gonna want some steroid dude that's 280, no neck, you know. They said, no, read the script. And I thought, okay, so I went and read, did a good job. 2 weeks later, call me back in. 2 weeks later, call me back in. They kept calling me back. By about the 6th time, I'm like, going, guys, what do you want? They never sent me new sides. And you know, the room got a little bigger each time with people from the studio. And then finally, the 7th time when they called me in, they had all the suits were there. It was probably about 25 people in the room, about 20 guys and 5 women, all the executives there at Universal, sitting on like a little amphitheater thing. And you walk in, it's down. I knew there was down like 5 guys now. And I remember I read from him again, and one of the executive women, she goes, would you mind, can you take off your shirt? So, I took off my shirt, and she went, oh, I guess. And I said, yeah, I'm a lot bigger out of my clothes. So then Sam Raimi says, you know, would you mind, you know, because I'm not overly hairy, but I got, you know, if you saw the show, like a little man cover. And Sam says, so would you mind shaving if you got the role? And I said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Raimi, I thought you wanted a man for this role. I apologize. Got a big laugh. A week later, I go up and I was doing a guest spot on The Commish, if you remember The Commish, with Michael Chiklis before his fantastic 4 days. And I was in Vancouver, and I said, they go, you got to call, you got to go check out your agent called. So I called, and they screamed, you got the part, you're going to start training right away when you get back here. And they set me up with this guy to work out with for a couple months before I moved to New Zealand. So I walked in the set, and Chiklis, I said, dude, I don't know crap from you, I'm half God now. So you leave me alone. But that's how I got the part. And just, thanks God, people like you kept it going for so long. We passed Baywatch as the most watched show in the world, for those who don't know. We were in 176 countries. it was pretty cool to be part of something like that. By about our fourth season, we passed them, and it was amazing to have that. And Hasselhoff, I remember we were doing this thing in New Orleans. It's called NAPD. It's an annual thing they do when they're buying shows all across the world. And he's a big dude, puts a hand on my shoulder, he goes, "I just want to meet the guy that passed my show in the ratings." And he was sober, so it was great.
Yes. 2 questions. What do you do in your spare time, and what music do you listen to?
Spare time stuff, I got 3 kids, so I'm a cab driver, They're the most important things in my life. They're awesome. My boys are 12 and 10, my little girl's 8. I do sports with them. We play a lot of basketball. We play a lot of golf together. They love tennis as well, so stuff like that. But I'm a cab driver for most of the time. So, what was the one you asked? What was the other one?
What music do you listen to?
Music. It depends on my mood. I guess I'm a child of the '70s. I'm still stuck. Everything from James Taylor to Led Zeppelin to Queen, Journey, Styx, REO Speedwagon. I love all that stuff. Foreigner. My kids, because I listen to that stuff, they love it now too. There's a lot of new groups out there I like too. Not a big rap guy. Some of it's okay for me. But I like classical music. It just depends on my mood. I like to mix it up. But last year I took my then 11-year-old boy to the Hollywood Bowl. If you haven't been, you got to go, guys. It's an amazing concert venue outside, and it was Night Ranger, Foreigner, and Journey. And we got to go backstage and meet all those guys afterwards. And Journey, you heard the story about that singer they got, right? This was a homeless guy to the Philippines that somebody recorded him singing. And Journey, you close your eyes, he's Steve Perry. He sounds exactly like Steve Perry, and it was pretty cool. I'm a big Journey fan. But it's just like I said, depends. Pink Floyd, love Pink Floyd. Depends on my mood. Yeah.
I know you've been open about having a stroke. Did you find it difficult getting back into the swing of things after that incident?
At the end of season 5 on Hercules, for those who don't know, I was having a lot of problems with my left shoulder, but I kept blowing it off. What ended up, I was coming back to the States to do a movie. I was doing promotional work on Call the Conqueror. Universal was basically gearing me up to take over Arnold Schwarzenegger's role as the next action guy. And I was about to shoot an action movie in Atlanta, but what was going on in my left shoulder was an aneurysm that completely exploded inside my shoulder, and this arm had almost be amputated, but 3 clots unfortunately went in my brain. I suffered 3 strokes. So I wrote a book called True Strength, but it was tough on the ego more than anything else, I think. But it took me I had to drop out of the movie. It took me 4 months to learn how to walk and balance myself again. And the guy that was in better shape than most guys in their 20s, that were athletes, and I was in my 30s, it was tough. But I think because of my age and my physical fitness, it took 3 years to feel normal again. But the last 2 years of Hercules were pretty brutal. And that's why we did shows like, the modern day shows where I'm not in it as much, because I was only working 1 hour a day and then 2 hours a day after 4 months. I wasn't working 14-hour days anymore. We did a lot of stunt casting. Bruce Campbell came in to do a lot more work on it and stuff. So it was a long road. I'm very fortunate to even be alive. But for me, it was balance issues and it was vision. I lost 10% of my vision. But I could have been killed instantly. I got to count my blessings. And I was able to fight back, and I wrote the book, and I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements. I've got 6 more lined up this year.
I find it so inspirational.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been amazing. I've had not only stroke. Well, thanks. My wife bugged me to write the book. I don't want to write about it. I don't want to make that part of my life so personal. They kept it very quiet. And it happened the same weekend Princess Di died. So if it had been any other weekend, I think it would have been out there more in the public. The studio kept it quiet for reasons of their own, because the show was doing so well. And in a way, I'm grateful. And to be able to keep being on the show and working, even though I was limited, just slowly work my way back up again. It gave me, a light at the very end of a long, dark tunnel. So I was very fortunate that way. But I've had people come to me from car crash survivors, a heart attack, or whatever, saying the book has motivated them to stop. Because really, it's about stop feeling sorry for yourself. Because crap happens to all of us. We're going to hit that roadblock one day. How do you react to it? Because we have a way of blaming other people for the problems in our lives, and it's really your own problem. Deal with it, look in the mirror, take care of it, and that's really what the book's about. It's about just getting past all BS and not letting anybody, especially yourself, set limitations on what you can do.